On RTE's Morning Ireland, late last month, former RTE correspondent Tommy Gorman was introduced as formerly of this parish as he was invited to speak about the death of European giant Jack Delors. As I listened to the interviewer introduce Tommy, I was struck by the enduring potency of parish as an image. Theologians tell us that Jesus' baptism cues us to listen to the voice of an unconditionally loving parent and not that of a stern judge. Yet, reading several articles over the rain-filled Christmas, I couldn't help sensing that we live in an era where the Catholic identity is being dropped like the shedding of rain from a black cloud. An article on St. Stephen's Day cried out spiritual but not religious. Young people tackle their Catholic inheritance. Maria from Longford argued, in theory, I reject the church, but in practice, I light a candle every now and again. Julie from Dublin, after experiencing 2 bereavements, has begun to reconsider the idea of attending Mass. But in her own words, as someone who is pro-choice and pro-marriage equality, she cannot ignore that the fact that she has big issues with the church. Anthony from Cork says that he's utter resentment for the church. Never compromised his understanding of the role of spirituality in protecting some sense of peace in one's life. In an article on December 29th, Esther McCarthy explains why she and her husband didn't christen their children. Listing church scandals in recent decades, Esther finished her article declaring she is glad she's not part of the church institution. Over Christmas, I learned about mathematics professor Julie Hanna, who shares how she studied Christianity with the hope of debunking it. Julie's upbringing was secular. As an adult, Julie was driven to answer the fundamental question of whether our lives have meaning as opposed to being merely random events that end in death. Julie searched for answers in the findings of modern science, as well as a wide range of humankind's belief systems, both philosophical and religious. Julie began listening to the Gospels as she commuted to teach maths at a university in South Africa. Through the 4 Gospels, Julie writes, I encountered a voice that was strikingly different from anything I had read before. In Jesus' debates with the Jewish leaders of his time, I saw a credible and incisive intellect. His parables and metaphors struck me as cleverly constructed and consistent in revealing that Jesus is God's only Son and the true shepherd of his people. He claimed to speak with absolute authority and embody the fulfillment of ancient prophecies. But he also wept with compassion, expressed frustration at his disciples, and otherwise manifested a range of regular human emotions. Julie had expected to find a simplistic hero sprouting spiritual platitudes, but instead she found a realistic, coherent, and inspiring portrayal that didn't come across like a random fabrication. Slowly, Julie began to perceive that the claims of the Bible were more trustworthy than she supposed. they were also surprisingly compelling. Julie found that the core Christian message of sin, atonement, and redemption to be increasingly coherent and persuasive, noting that modern minds usually reject notions of innate sinfulness, but for Julie, they made sense of the world's most intractable problems. Alongside investigating world religions, Julie also researched what science says about the development of our universe and conscious life. Could purely materialistic processes account for the world we know? Julie read widely in the areas of cosmology, quantum physics, relativity, and evolution. Julie discovered that many highly regarded scientists believe some form of a guiding intelligence is necessary to explain a universe capable of sustaining human life. It seems as though somebody has fine-tuned nature's numbers to make the universe work properly, physicist Paul Davies argues. Simply put, many scientists are proposing that there is more to our universe than materialistic processes can explain. Julie, as an adult, chose to be baptized and expresses gratitude to God for drawing herself, an arrogant skeptic, to him. While many modern mindsets say yes to Jesus and no to the church, yes to spirituality and no to institutional religion, I believe that because God has made his home with us, it is good to stay in the church. In the pouring Christmas rain, I recalled English shepherd James Rebank's remark, "Sometimes I think our sense of belonging relates to how much weather we have endured. We belong here because the wind, rain, hail show, mud and storms couldn't shift us. Abiding is sometimes the great adventure of our faith. We remain in the church despite our shame and its failures." Amen.